out the gate, boy. What would we do? What would we do?
Welcome back, guys.
Happy
I'm
Monday.
so excited he's here. We're doing it. Happy Monday.
We're off to a good start, I think.
We're off to a fantastic start.
Hopefully you are too.
Yes, remember that we are on iTunes and Spotify. We have our YouTube channel. We have the podcast. Now that the technical stuff is out of the way, we're getting down to the gritty.
The nitty gritty. Girl.
Today we're talking about friendships and friendship divorce in particular, which is something that I wanted to talk about just because I feel like we all have friendships, obviously, but we also have times in life where you feel like, this is not going well for us anymore. Either we're just not getting what we need from one another anymore, you know?
And nobody ever really teaches you how to deal with that, right? You have to learn that on the fly.
That's real. That's real talk, girl.
You know what I'm saying? So
real
it's good to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because maybe other people have had similar situations or are going through it right now. I would consider you an amazingly good friend.
Yes.
So I would assume...
I would consider me that too. No, I would consider you one of my best. Absolutely, yeah.
Fuck you. I think one of the first things to talk about is like, what are some of the signs that a friendship is going sour or starting to not, like you said, that mutual love or joy or feeding of like good that should like pretty much should be the basis for a friendship, I think.
Right.
What are some signs for you? What have you noticed? Who'd you have to cut?
I mean, I have had a couple friend divorces, but nothing. They've never been explicit. They've never been like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want you in my life. Boo, boo, boo. It's kind of like a natural progression of like, we stopped hanging out. Usually because I was like, I'm not getting what I need from this anymore, or vice versa.
Okay.
You know, I'm somebody who considers my friends my family. They are like, when you're in the circle, you're in the circle. If you're dancing on the perimeter of the circle and you're trying not to, then I'm gonna cut you out. Just because I'm sensitive and I want you in and I want you here and I want to support you, but I need you to support me as well. And if we're not,
that's real.
And I know that those are kind of vague terms without giving very specific things, but that's kind of how, if I had a metaphor, I would use that circle kind of. I think one of the first signs, I think, is that if you're unable to communicate about what you need from the other person, and like any relationship, right? I think that's one of the first things.
Isn't it our friendships that we first learn how to be in a relationship?
Absolutely, girl.
You know, it's the non-romantic situation for that later romantic situation. I was just saying this to a new friend.
Okay, with the old and with the new girl.
That I don't have as much time for new friends, and to your point where you keep your friends or your family, similarly, I think my friends are, especially my close friends, I hold dear, and when you want to try to keep those relationships alive, it takes time.
Yeah.
So there's many good friends of mine that I'm like, oh man, I need to text him or her this week. I haven't texted in 2 weeks, or there's some that I've texted every day, and I'm just like, that's awesome, but I can't forget about so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, they're just as special to me too.
If the relationship is worth it, if it matters, you're both gonna come to the table. And if it doesn't, back to friend divorce, then it wasn't meant to be, girl.
Yeah.
Time and season and place for every relationship, as they say, right?
Because to the whole point of like, you know, surround yourself with people that uplift you, that you can mutually uplift. And if you at some point get to a point with a friend that it's no longer that way, you do, in my opinion, need to evaluate that. I mean, that goes for friends and close family.
Wait a minute. Because I don't know what it is about you better slow sip. She's up here slow sipping to punctuate her point. I'm not mad at you for a minute. No, but listen to me. When I talk about, like, I say this to my own family, I've said this. Look, I love y'all. I don't have to like you. I don't have to like you. I don't have to like what you do. And I'm not scared. I am not scared to cut you out of my life. I've said this before on the podcast, and I've said this in my life. Every relationship is a contract, baby. But I say that because I hope that everyone comes to a relationship and an interaction with a sense of openness and love and generosity. And if it's not, then like, what are we doing?
If you are dealing with somebody right now in your life, I would say really analyze it for yourself. You know what goodness you bring to others and yourself. I think that at the end of the day is like kind of the cornerstone of it, deciding like when do you make a move to say something,
Right.
but it takes the analyzing of it like, no, that is wrong, and like we're not helping each other right now.
Mm-hmm.
To that point, is there anyone that you need to tell now? They're on the fritz.
There is no. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. We are here every Monday. You can email us at agendabegay@gmail.com if you have anything you want to get at us with.
If you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, please send us, or questions you'd like us to answer.
Absolutely.
We can make an episode in the future about that, where we're just answering your questions and going deep.
I really like that.
Yeah, deeper even.
Okay.
But thank you. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram if you have a chance at chic_chanteur.
Or at thedelon.com. I think we're both on Twitter with both of those handles as well. Oh, do not forget to subscribe.
Please.
We need you to subscribe. Until next week, this has been whose agenda?
Your agenda?
My agenda.
Our gay agenda.
What would we do without the gay boy? What would we do?